News at 7.
Our data is showing that about 1 in 500 U.S. residents has died from COVID-19 now, and that's extremely sad.
Yeah, it is sad, and it's a grim marker. And as COVID-19 cases continue to rise, local hospitals in northern Nevada are at or near capacity. And that story tops 2 News at 7 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ryan Canada. Ari's off this week. Thanks so much for keeping it here with us. Now, with more than 1,000 new COVID-19 cases reported in the state just today, this new wave shows no signs of slowing down. The state also reports more than 1,000 people are currently hospitalized for the virus, bringing hospitals to near capacity. Today, the Nevada Hospital Association urged residents to only use the emergency room in emergency situations, as ER departments are at capacity. Brian Hoffman reports.
It feels just like last October or November, as we were climbing to the peak of our surge at the end of November. I think staffing for hospitals may be even worse now.
And staffing is key in a pandemic surge like we're seeing, as many hospitals may have empty beds, but with no workers to staff them, several patients are having to wait in emergency rooms or even inside ambulances until a staffed bed opens up.
Capacity is stretched very thin. Emergency departments are overloaded. Emergency departments have patients waiting in the emergency department for a bed to free up and become available to be admitted in the hospital.
With an increase in pediatric cases and those sick with the virus having worse conditions, some hospitals are having to take drastic measures once again to safeguard the resources they do have and reduce the amount of patients in the hospital.
And it was a tough decision for us. It weighed very heavily on us, but we are limiting our visitation.
The visitor limit over at St. Mary's is a little bit less strict than it was last year, as a couple of exemptions include 1 visitor will be allowed in the ER at a time. Childbirth patients may have 1 partner. Nursery and neonatal intensive care unit patients may have 1 birth parent plus 1 significant other. COVID-19 patients who are at the end of life may have 2 visitors. Minors may have both parents or guardians present.
Help us help you. There is a tool out there to prevent the outcomes that we're seeing, and that is the vaccination.
Now, we're hearing something different from Renown, though, as they say there are no plans to limit visitation, nor any plans to reopen the COVID ward in the parking garage.
Given the facts and the incidence rates that we're seeing, we have the capacity and the PPE and the ventilators to be able to support the community.
Covering the story, Brian Hoffman, 2 News.
And good news to hear from Slonim there. Slonim, while saying we are in a better position than we were a year ago, noted that Renown is full up and that emergency room wait times are increased.